After the Paul W.S. Anderson movies came to a merciful end, which means there is a god, Sony is trying to revamp their franchise once more. This is my review of Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. Set in 1998, we follow the origin story and explore the secrets of the mysterious Spencer Mansion and the ill-fated Raccoon City alongside classic franchise characters such as the Redfields, Leon Kennedy, Wesker, and Jill Valentine. Now, before I properly start with my review, I want to know your thoughts on this film. If you're a big Resident Evil fan, if you enjoy any of the Paul W.S. Anderson films, anything and everything, drop it down there in the comments below and start the conversation, because if you like movies and TV, this is the place to be, so make sure you click that subscribe button if you enjoy what you see here, and you will never miss another conversation about any of your favorite movies and TV. So I am infamous for despising the Paul W.S. Anderson films. Not that I'm a fan of the games, I've dabbled in them, I watched some walkthroughs, I've watched a few friends of mine playing, but I just go into these films trying to appreciate them as films. And I could never do that with the previous franchise of Resident Evil films. So going into this, I was hoping to, at the very least, a fun horror film with some nice thrills, some really cool atmosphere, and if it was faithful to the games, that has no effect on me, but fans of the games will hopefully be satisfied. And I will tell you this right away, this is the best out of any of the Resident Evil films that I have ever seen, in my opinion. There's a really cool dedication on screen. The craft is clearly there and the passion for the project is clearly there. The set design is fantastic. They're able to create this city that has a kind of personality to it. There's this eerie, creepy vibe surrounding the entire film that just feels wrong from the beginning. They get a tone and they are consistent with it throughout. The film creates from the very beginning an ambiance and an atmosphere throughout the film that is effective from beginning to end, and it really leans into the horror side of Resident Evil, which I really appreciated. It's not glossy or high octane, but it's slow, it's methodical, it almost has a grungy feel to it. The film clearly doesn't have a big budget, because when it uses CGI, you can tell, but the film actually goes out of its way to use practical effects a lot for the creatures and whatnot. And though it's a more horror-centric film, like I mentioned, it has moments of action with a ton of really cool practical effects. Like I mentioned, some of the monsters in here are very visually creative, and there's some good zombie and mutant, I guess, carnage to be found there. There are flourishes in there of some really fun action and violence. And the film from beginning to end is chock full of references from the games, not only in terms of you have literal characters from the games guiding the story, but certain houses, certain locations in the film. The very location of Raccoon City, my guess is it's very prominent in the games. Like, there's a shot of the police station, of the entrance to the police station, that serves absolutely no purpose to the story to last as long as it does, being center focus, but clearly it's something that they put in there for fans of the games as an Easter egg. And you have all these little details throughout the film of the little locations that they go to. Sometimes a line is purposefully said in a way that you can tell, oh, they said this because fans of the games will understand. So I think this will be very satisfying, at least on a surface level, for fans of the games. I feel it really captures the visuals and what they attempted to do in those games now transported into live action. However, sadly, I didn't take too much away from this film apart from those surface level things. This is very much, again, the best out of all these films that I've ever seen for me. Because at the very least, it's done in a competent way, but sadly, the script bogs this film down considerably. One of the biggest problems the script displays is the characters. They're very one-dimensional. They're very much defined by the scene that they're presented in. Claire and Chris are brother and sister. Claire is Chris's sister and Chris is Claire's brother, and That's it. That's what defines them throughout this entire film. Leon S. Kennedy, he shot his partner in the ass, and that's the whole thing throughout this film. Jill Valentine, she's a sharpshooter, and then she really doesn't shoot that much throughout the film. It would be an overstatement to say that these characters are one-dimensional, because the film gives them one personality trait, one characteristic, and that is it. And then the film just lets them go and do their thing. And much like the character, the film is riddled with these potentially interesting elements that could enrich the story, the drama, heighten the tension and whatnot, but the film never weaponizes them. For instance, the town at one point is going to explode, and you have the times flashing throughout the film. It's 2 a.m., it's 3 a.m., it's 3:30 a.m., and whatnot. But the characters don't know this. So the actions of our characters are absolutely coincidental to what is actually going on in the story. They are not aware that the town is going to explode, so there is no urgency to their actions. There is no actual running against the clock. It just happens that the clock is running out and they're trying to escape the city. And the issue that connects both of these previous issues with the characters and the time running out, even though the characters are unaware of it, is because we have two groups of characters that we're following. They're doing completely different things. They're even at different points of the story. Some people know certain things, others know less. And so because the film keeps cutting in between them, in between the times that pop up on the screen, the tension keeps dwindling down, because one group of characters has a certain level of tension with the knowledge that they have, and then another group of characters has a different level of tension with the knowledge that they have. And so the entire film becomes uneven, and it can never find a real balance between both sides, sadly. And the film just feels illogical overall with certain decisions the characters make, even the very setup, where characters are discussing that something strange is going on, and then for no apparent reason, other characters don't believe them until the very next scene where they're like, oh, we gotta escape and something is wrong, blah, blah. Like, the film breaks its own internal logic out of convenience, sadly, and that just becomes so frustrating. Because it has all these interesting ideas, and it has talented actors playing these characters that could potentially be interesting, the film just becomes very watchable. It's overall very competently made. The strong horror-centric atmosphere, the cool practical effects, and the fun zombie carnage are there as surface-level, satisfying cravings. It's got flourishes of potential, but it just never seems to weaponize them and take advantage of any of it. The principles for something interesting are there, but the film just couldn't hold itself up with such a weak script, with such weak characters, and a story that just feels entirely coincidental. I'm giving Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City a C-. And those are my thoughts on the new Resident Evil film, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, but I want to know your thoughts on it. Let me know all of it down there in the comments below. Anything and everything, just start the conversation, because that's the most important part. And if you like what you saw here, make sure you click that subscribe button, because if you like movies and TV, this is the place to be. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. I have many reviews that I uploaded this week on the channel. You can go check those out right now. I'll be back very soon with a review for Serrano, Being the Ricardos, and West Side Story, and I hope to see you on those. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.